When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one collector to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with the hobby, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of sports cards and of baseball cards entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of collectors requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to this separation. Another little bit of happiness arrived in the mail the other day. It was hard to find, yes, and moderately expensive as baseball cards go. I've been wanting to add a Robin Roberts rookie to my collection for a while, and a recent bonus check from a completed side gig freed up the funds to pursue the acquisition. I love the card, but my biggest issue with it is that it was shipped in this annoying child-proof container. Now, I may have already put you off, but stick with me for a few more moments. Professional sports authenticators have been around since 1991, and I certainly think their business has a use. For high-end cards, autographs, and memorabilia, especially those likely to be counterfeited, like the T206 Honus Wagner and the 52 Mickey Mantle, it is important for impartial third parties who have specific expertise to authenticate a card's originality and authenticity. Is it real? It's the same in the high-end art world. Someone says they have a Picasso? Okay, fantastic. They can have it reviewed by the Picasso administration, and if real, can sell it to the highest bidder with impunity. There is no reason to send my kids' kindergarten finger paintings, though. The problem with grading companies are well documented. Pop control, market manipulation, insider dealing, but also wildly inconsistent grading standards. The inability to detect or blatant disregard for trimming and other card doctoring, and admission that the expert who reviews the 52 Mantle is not the same jabroni who is looking at the 2023 Topps Chrome Commons. Once at the Dallas Card Show, a huge show, I came across a dealer who had this: a 1987 Topps Mike Maddox in a PSA 9 slab. He was asking, wait for it, $50 for it. If it was an advertising trick, it worked. I immediately stopped at his table and asked about it, with the "are you for real" incredulity of a cop at a 3-card Monte table. The guy said, "Yeah, I know it's high. I'd take $20 for it, but no less, as I've got that much into it." $20 for an 87 Topps Common in near mint condition. One of 100 million other near-mint 1987 Topps Commons, with an actual market value of about a penny. Stop this ride, I want to get off. Further conversation revealed that this guy was totally serious, and he's not alone. I left to go get a bag of tulip bulbs out of my car. It was time to sell them all. For those who follow the market, you know we are entering the junk slab era. Cards pulled directly from a pack, sent in for grading to confirm that they were indeed just pulled from a pack, with attempts to resell for many hundreds of times their original out-of-the-pack value, because now they are authenticated to be out of the very pack from which you pulled it. Using the pricing model of the cost of the grading is now built into the card plus 25% leads to nobody buying it, because who in this sweet, merciful crap of a world will pay $20 for a 1987 Topps Mike Maddox?
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
But Phillies guy, what about the collectors building a 1987 Topps PSA set registry and want to have the best one in the world? What about them?
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Well, for the cost to submit a single card in that set, you could have 2 complete factory-sealed sets. But you do you. In America, we are all free to acquire and release ourselves from wealth in whatever manner we see fit. Handling vintage cards means learning how to handle them. It means learning their touch, their feel, learning their scent. learning how to care for them, how to preserve them. That starts with allowing kids to open packs and touch the cards, sort them again and again, and not stand over them cringing with every tipped corner. And that brings me back to this Robin Roberts rookie from 1949 Bowman. You can see it came in a PSA 2 slab, good condition, and I see absolutely no reason to let it languish in there any longer. Cracking a slab is a bit like pleasing your wife. We all have our different methods, but in the end, the goal is the same. And as long as you're careful, we all achieve success. I snap the corners and pry from the top. Works every time. Just like with my wife. As you can see, the card was not sleeved before it was slabbed. It should have been, as the tolerance for cut sizes in 1949 is fairly broad, and this card was short, top to bottom, by just enough that it moved around in there. PSA has no official guidance on this. It's up to a different jabroni to decide which cards get sleeves and which don't before they're sealed. This card has really beautiful color. These little flecks are print defects when the color was added to the black and white photo. They are common on 49 Bowmans. Nearly every card has a fleck or two on the color borders. The back is beautiful too, except for another small print defect right there. That's not damage or paper loss, but a defect in the printing and the culprit of why this otherwise beautiful card was relegated to only good condition and a lowly grade of 2. The rough edges are typical for 49 Bowmans, as they were cut at the factory with a butter knife. The only cards with sharp edges were the ones cut immediately after the blades were changed, which was hardly ever. The slight yellowing of the cardstock lets us know that this card has seen some light and felt some air, and is consistent with its age. If it was dirt, then the colors on the front would also be affected. Even new paper made today will yellow with age due to oxidation. We can clear the childproof packaging out of the way, but I keep the grading labels. Not as a way to preserve value, I don't care much about that, but as a contribution to the card's provenance. Cards like this I keep in carefully curated albums. The cover of this album adorned by autographs of Philly's whiz kids Granny Hamner on the left and Del Ennis on the right. There's the T205s documented in episode 17. Some 33 and 34 Goudies, including the newly acquired Chuck Klein documented in episode 24, and the 48 and 49 Bowmans that have been slowly accumulated over the years. I've got a spot reserved for Mr. Roberts, right there, beneath Richie Ashburn. Welcome, Robin. There was a time I could never afford you, but hard work and time can fix that for many collectors. Here, amongst your young brethren, you will be cared for, looked after, and most importantly, enjoyed. I promise you will feel the warmth of hands, young and old, and you will help teach a new generation of collectors how to treat their elders. Looking at the card backs altogether, you can see the subtle and not so subtle variations time and light has wrought. The top card is a 48 Bowman, completely oxidized from time spent in open air. That's just oxygen that does that. The back of the Ashburn is more gray, telling us it spent more time in the closet in the dark. The back of the Roberts is in between the two. It has seen some light and some air, but not as much as the Dutch Leonard. The white card on the bottom is a reprint from 1988. Reading the cards bottom to top, you can watch the cardstock oxidize over time. We're getting off topic, but that 33 Gaudi Dick Bartell card in the middle is indeed autographed. An exceptionally rare autograph that I pilfered off of Greg Moore's cards for $4. For provenance sake, I keep the labels of the cracked slabs. Again, this is for historical documentation of the life of the card, not for any perceived retained value. I also keep the eBay authenticity stickers for the same reason. I hope eBay keeps their servers running so that in 50 years, these QR codes will still work. While we're in here, it's nice to take a peek at my Roberts autograph. And the bunning. and the Schmidt, and the Carlton. And since we're in the playoffs, there's Aaron Nola, too. Anytime I open this box, I take some time with the autographs collected over the years of happenstance and good luck. I realize that some people are connected to their slabs. They crave the red labels of PSA like an alcoholic staring at a pint of wild turkey. They've been sucked into the set registries and can't escape their gravity. For me, though, I hold these truths to be self-evident that all cards are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness found only in the touch of a human hand. I therefore declare that these cards are, and of right ought to be free, that they are absolved from all captivity in slabs, and that all political connections between them and the grading companies is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent cards, they have full power to do all things which independent cards may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of mankind, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our personal collections. Go forth, fellow collectors, and spread this idea of freedom forthwith, and that right soon. Thanks for watching. May your cards be slabbed no more. And tune in next time for more baseball card stories, legends, and lore.